Welcome back to the Four Horsemen. Spoiler alert, we're gonna have some fun. This is Tom from Spork Syndicate, together with Andrew from Maple Leaf Customs, Skip from Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop, and Paul from Diecast Graveyard. We are the Four Horsemen. This month's theme is Outer Space, and we welcome Big J's Custom Garage as our guest horseman. For this build, I'm turning this Hot Wheels 5-alarm into a spaceship. I picked this up because I like the very boxy, functional look of it. The split windshield and crew cab looked a lot like a spaceship's bridge to me. But which way to go? Between science fiction and reality, there's no rules when it comes to building a spaceship. One thing I hope to avoid is letting my imagination run wild, like Spaceball 1 wild. What I do know is that I'll be able to dip deep into my drawers and drawers of greebles to make this, like fellow horseman Andrew did last year in his Trash Bash spaceship build. So I've got this fire truck. That's it. I'll make a fire truck for outer space. Lots to take into consideration since fire doesn't really burn in space, but I have a few ideas. This is going to be an interesting build. Since the body is made of plastic, don't need to strip the paint. I built this model of the Mir space station for inspiration. It's asymmetrical, uses solar power, and is primarily white to contrast the darkness of space. Oops, got a little paint stripper on the gold chassis. Might as well break out the super clean and finish the job. I want there to be more to this spaceship, like a passenger cabin or a place for the space firefighters to ride when they respond to a call. I took a pair of Hot Wheels Trouble Deckers to extend the profile a bit and create more portals for the crew to see out. How am I going to get these two to work? Forget that helicopter. I couldn't find a place for it. After drilling them apart, things get a little clearer. But let's get to the other components. These came with Jackson's soccer goal. Maybe they could be engines. Can't remember where I found this network router. Could be some goodies inside. And then there's the microwave, which went ERP the other day. I tried to fix it, replacing the diode, but the problem eluded both my abilities and our checkbook, so we replaced it. There's lots of cool parts here, both for this build and future builds. I could easily see some of the heavier parts being part of a diorama. Circuit boards yield so many treasures. Ultimately, I work with a Gundam's lower legs as side pods to the primary vehicle. When I clip and grind plastic, I wear an N95 mask to ensure I'm not inhaling microplastics. everything I build usually involves more than glue. It has to be Jackson-proof, or at least something he and other 9-year-olds can handle. This is why I use wires and tubes to attach pieces. Time for the fender flares to go. This won't have wheels. A partial dry fit shows a snug line without the fender flares. I replaced the ladder on top with a screw bit holder filled with modular shelf pins and a couple of fuses. In my mind, firefighters aren't using water so much as removing accelerants like oxygen and other gases, so a firefighting spaceship would have various tanks and hoses. And they'd also have to rescue people. The tops of the 2 trouble-deckers make an excellent shuttle. I use styrene and other pieces to vary the surfaces when sealing up the side pods. A lot of cutting and gluing and fitting in a way a dad like me can appreciate, without an instruction manual. I used a method I saw on Jode Zero's channel. Create your template with tape, then use it to create matching pieces. Of course, I had to sneak a couple of sporks in there. That was a robot head from a figurine. It's now the shuttle's spotlight and scanner array. More grinding of the chassis to attach the shuttle with magnets. The main engines are made from 2 JB Superweld glue caps. Found a place for the original ladder to go. Used some wire as a hose. Those anti-snoring devices acting as the shuttle engine's baffles are unused. This is a booger-free build. Some more greebles, including some snaps, create an array to distribute or remove gases or maybe refuel the vessel. Now I got a primer coat. The only seams to plug are where the sporks attach to the tubes. That's not too bad. This white base coat makes it look like a spaceship, but I'm going to go further. It was too humid to fan dry things out in the paint booth, so I brought everything inside. And the second color on top of the yellow, red. When I removed the tape, I was happy that it did not pull up any paint, but there was some overspraying because of the very terrain of the spaceship. In hindsight, I would have added the pipes and wires after I painted. Since there's no rust in space, I'm sticking with black wash, and all paint scrapes get a small bit of chrome as exposed metal plating. My wife pointed out that it looks like Wall-E or Johnny Five from this angle. I use a toothpick to put some black wash into the nooks and crannies and show the separation of the plates. This is where the weathering took a turn for the better. As I was wearing down the top of the shuttle, I realized it would be scratched up from docking and undocking with the main ship. This also became a saving grace when the thickness of the paint changed the fit of the shuttle and I had to break out a file and sandpaper. I think I threw out the double-decker's windows, but I had some black styrene to do the trick. The wires holding the shuttle's engines changed the fit. Time for an audible. I kept this reinforced prismatic trading card box because I like the look of it. And now, a band of this will help with the uneven seam on the shuttle. The final piece is attaching the new ladder. Snug as a bug in a rug. Yeah, I still need to make a stand for this. The shuttle underneath rendered my first 3 ideas useless. Oh well. It began here and went far, far away. for those of you who participated, I hope you had as much fun as I did with this month's 4 Horsemen build. Next month, the theme is Wasteland Warlord, a Gaslands Wastelands build fit for a king or a queen, and we welcome Christopher from Gaslands NorCal as the guest horseman. If you participate in our builds, we'd like to show off your work. Send a widescreen 16:9 glamour shot, preferably on a white background, to 4Horsemen Diecast at gmail.com. And be sure to use the hashtag 4Horsemen Diecast when you post your pictures or videos on social media. Told you we would have some fun. Hopefully, this machine does its job, and I build a stand that works. For the 4 Horsemen, this is Tom. Let's do this again real soon.